And we're live. Hey, everybody. How's it going tonight? That Fix-It guy here. And we're just chilling. It is a pretty laid back day here, right? We're taking it easy, just raining and chilling. I just wanted to give you guys an update and let you know what I've been up to. So I was working on this awesome. I thought I had a pretty good video set up for yesterday, and one of those. It's a bar in the shower that kind of allows you to put a sprayer head on, and then you can move it up and down. So a friend of mine asked me to help him put one of these in. He already had one, but it broke apart. I've done some stuff over at his house, and so I said, "Sure, man, I'll come over. I'll take a look at it." And man, it just was one thing after the next. It was so frustrating. After 2 trips to the hardware store, I finally got it installed. Something that I thought was going to take an hour ended up taking 4. So it is what it is. Oh yeah, PA in the house. You guys got some snow going on. Yeah, I was just talking to my mom just a little bit ago, and she's saying, yeah, let the good times. She was pulling out the snowblower. So I'm sure that Tom, you and Michelle are in the same boat. Yeah, guys, everybody does it. All right. As much as you want to prep and plan, and it's good to rock and roll, right? And yeah, crazy things, right? So just so many little weird things. Like this particular shower arm, this shower bar, I don't even know what you call that thing, but it came with these little, the little butterfly bolts and the little toggle bolts. So I go to put this in. The biggest drill bit we had to go through this cultured marble wasn't big enough because my friend had ordered the metric and not the standard. And I think that just that little bit of a difference jacked the whole situation up. So it's just one of those things, man. So that threw me all out of whack yesterday, right? Because I was planning on coming home, doing a little editing and some video, having a video out today. And I'm like, oh, man, I've got a few videos in the can, but it's sometimes, man, it just depends. You got an hour of footage. Well, it's usually 3 hours more of editing. And at least for me, it is. I'm not that great at this stuff. So it's one of those deals. So big thing I was wanting to roll with tonight was I wanted to talk about, like you see in the title, when it's why with all, it just seems like it's so commonplace these days for shady contractors, man. And it blows my mind. I mean, I'm still scratching my head over this, right? So you've seen a lot of the videos, the hot tub video, the tub patch repair video. Well, the recently the growy fixtures, like tightening those things up. So that's all over at one guy's house. That's my friend. Like he's asked me to come over and hey man, you want to just look at a couple of these things? Like he had a really bad experience, right? And so having a really bad experience with a contractor honestly leads you to not trusting people that much, right? And so I used to live with him. He knew I was a plumber and was like, hey, could you look at this? And then there's some things that he's like, hey, I know that you're a plumber, but I know you're also very mechanical. So will you check this out and check this out? And man, I'm going to tell you, dude, the guy, he just got taken advantage of by a contractor. I mean, crazy. Hey, Sandy, how you doing? It's good. It's good. I have a question, Sandy. Because how are you liking the Tubrella? Right? Like that was a question I've been wanting to ask somebody and just see how that's going, because it's coming close. I mean, we still got another couple weeks, right? And we've been digging it. I'm excited. I'm excited to put a video together with everybody's responses and comments and checking stuff out, and it'll be fun. So I go over there, right? The trust factor, man. When you've been screwed over, the trust factor sucks. So I go over, I help this guy out. And I mean, as you've seen from the hole in the bathtub. All right. Well, let me tell you, that bathtub That max bathtub is they're 1,000 plus. Like I think the bottom line is like $1,000 for one of those things. All right, so it's a top of the line fiberglass tub. Well, if it's not installed correctly, which it wasn't, then you run into the issue that we've run into, right? I mean, they're bigger dudes that are using it, and they just ended up getting some flex in there. Well, even when my friend called the contractor out on it and said, "Hey, dude, like this is not installed right," they chopped the hole in the back of his tub and they went in there and they tried to jam a bunch of mortar in there. Well, that doesn't work. Right? That totally does not work at all, and just a bummer. And so that's jacked it up. He come over, I went over, I looked at it. He asked me, "What do you think, Brian?" I said, "Well, honest opinion, take the tub out, man." And that sucks, right? Because you've just installed this. Like, had a designer design essentially his whole remodel, spent, I don't even want to tell you guys the number, but it's big. All right. You could build a house for that amount of money. I'm guaranteeing it. Like, it blows my mind. And a nice house at that. Um, um, Uh, Sandy, I love it, but I'm shocked by my old lady hair loss. Oh man, that's cool. I'm glad that you like it, right? Because that's the one thing that we have liked about it as well. Like, not the hair loss factor, not noticing that, but the one thing is that you can actually leave the other drain in there, right? And so, I mean, that's something big that I'm talking about with mine. Is that's a big feature that we like because we have kids constantly taking baths, right? We're shower people. Our kids are obviously bath people. And so it's constantly having to switch that drain out, like with the tub shroom. That is one of the only things that my wife really doesn't like. Um, and so Hoosiers Helpers, do you think that that's contractors that just don't know how to install? You know, I would, it very well could be, right? When you're talking that kind of, you get into those high end type of things. I mean, maybe that's something they've never dealt with before, right? But I can tell you, I've been in that situation so many times where I haven't dealt with something. And especially when you're talking with high end stuff, just start reading about it, right? Like read the whole installation guide, read every little thing they say and follow it to a T. And chances are it's going to go well. Or reach out to somebody else like that. I do that a lot. Like there's plumbers in here on my Facebook page that they can attest, man, that if I don't know something, I'm calling them. You know, yeah, I got something else coming up in the works that, I like, it's going to be fun. It's out of my wheelhouse. All right. Cause like I work on my vehicles just a little bit, but I haven't worked on cars in a long time. Like my uncle made me at one point. I think I had just graduated culinary school. I was living at his house and I was driving this Trans Am and the transmission blew up. Oh no, the engine actually. I think my cousin blew the engine up. Yeah, the transmission was still good. My uncle made me and my cousin switch that engine out. And so I had to learn a lot about like this stuff. And, he'd come home at night and be like, okay, well, that's not right. And that's not right. And you got to fix that. And you got to fix this. Right. And so we did that and we actually got it in, we got it running. Not the greatest, a lot of vacuum hoses and stuff, man. But we did it. And like, that was enough for me for a long time to know that I didn't want to be a mechanic. Right. I come from a very mechanical family. I definitely, I mean, I guess it's why I ended up being a decent plumber was because I could, I'm just pretty mechanically inclined that way, but I never really wanted to go towards fixing things like that, man. But I'm getting a truck and it's awesome. And there's a lot that's going to go into this. I don't think it runs at the moment, but it's got some serious sentimental value to me. And so I'm really excited about getting this truck. Why I ended up bringing this up was because one of my best friends in all the world, like he was a guy that I would call about my plumbing stuff all the time because he was just a far better plumber than me. And just unfortunately, I don't have that to go to anymore. And it sucks. I miss it all the time. And so for me to get this truck, like, You probably see a lot of videos of me crying, honestly. But it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Um, I'm sorry. I think it very well, it could be lazy cutting corners, or just that type of take the money and run scenario, right? With people. I don't know why, man. Everybody's on a cash grab. I just don't understand it, dude. Like, I mean, I get it. But it's important, man. Having some money is important, but it's not it's not the end all be all, dude. Freaking just doing good work and helping people out. I think that's much better satisfaction in your life than freaking running and making money and trying to rip somebody off in some way. Hey, what's up, Brett? How you doing, man? Thanks for joining. Sandy, our 4-year-old HVAC unit, is covered in a sheet of ice. Oh man. Oh dude. Yeah. Yeah, that is not cool. That's awesome. Sandy says she's helped her husband take the engine out of one of their trucks. Yeah, that's you have those peeps that absolutely love it, and then like me, I'm like, I don't really love it, but I'll do it, right? And so that's one of those deals. I had little fix it in here on my thumbnail, and dude was pretty excited. He was like, I was like, Logan, what do you want to do tonight? Do you want to join the live stream a little bit and stuff? And he's like, oh man, I'd really like to maybe do a tool review. And he was talking about doing a sledgehammer tool review tonight. And so hopefully they get back. They were chaos. So my wife, Janae, took them out to go get some dinner. She just went to go pick some dinner up. So maybe they get back before we're done and we get to see him come in here and tell us all about a sledgehammer. I think that'd be fun. Oh, Mike Santos in the house. My man in Vermont. He's super snowy, man. All you East Coast peeps, you're getting all the love. We did get a little hail today. It was that was the exciting part of my day. It really has been raining like crazy here. Just a lot going on. A lot. But I have to say, that little trench that I dug in the backyard, it might be full of water right now, but there's no water up by my house right now, and I'm pretty stoked about that. The temps here, dude, I really feel like it's in the 40s. Hold on, let me look. I feel like it's been in the good 40s too. Yeah, it's 43. I mean, high tomorrow, 46, 48 for the week. Yeah, it's pretty chill, but the forecast just says rain for as long as you can see. So, I mean, I guess we're in it to win it for a little while. Man, Mike, how's the waxworm allergy thing, dude? Are you any better? My friend Mike, he awesome, man. He moved to Vermont. The dude's been killing ice fishing, always just rocking it out. It's been so cool. But he sent me a picture, man. Like, I didn't realize, like, waxworms, dude, crazy allergic reaction people have sometimes. All right, so let me get back to this scenario with the crazy monstrous money, right? So I've been going over, I was helping this dude. The bathtub, you obviously seen with the patch fix, that was an issue, right? But then we go around to the other bathroom. Now, both of these got done. They both got high-end fixtures, all this stuff. Well, you've seen in that Growy set screw video that they didn't even put the fixture in the wall correctly, right? So the shower valve, they put it at different depths and stuff, and it just was wonky, man. Blew my mind. Like, some of these things, like when you install something that high end, you have to really kind of be meticulous with that stuff. There has to be a very high attention to detail in order for these things to come out right. I mean, there's a reason why, just some of those things. And whenever he first put them in, we had this conversation. It was like, dude, I mean, I love them, like, right, because you're buying a quality product. But dude, the amount of money, like labor-wise, if some plumber, another company was to come out, and the second they've seen those, well, their price is going to go way up, right? It's not as easy as just swapping out a Moen cartridge or swapping out a Delta cartridge. A lot of times you got to go hunt parts down, right? You're going to maybe have to go to a supply house. Maybe they don't have it in stock. You got to get it ordered. And then, something that you can go down to Home Depot and pay $50 for. Well, now you're going to get it. It's going to take you 2 weeks or a few days, whatever. And you're going to spend $150 or $200. Right. And yeah, it gets to be that way. And that's just for the parts. Right. And so then the plumber's still, I don't know, around here, man, the minimum I've heard these days is like $200. I mean, and some people are saying that's too low at this point. That's crazy to me too. Yeah, Britt. So this is absolutely the same place with the tub. Now, when you spend that kind of money, crazy. So that tub patch as well. So let's just talk about that tub for 1 second. All right. So my friend, like we were going to try all kinds of scenarios. This is actually one that worked without having to get in there. He also wanted me to go on the other side of the tub that doesn't have a wall or that faces the wall, cut out that wall, and then go in there and try to figure out how we're going to kind of firm up the bottom of that tub. Well, without a mortar bed, it's just not going to work. I mean, you could put expanding foam in there, and that's going to last for a little while, but it's not a good fix. And then you're looking at that patch. What happened with that patch, and the reason why there's a bump in there, and I had to put that bump, but I had to put something over that, and then that's why I put the spray on it as well, is because what it was, they actually have a weird thing of mortar that kind of got stuck up, almost like like a little finger sticking out. And when those guys started walking on it, eventually they just poked a hole in it. And just such a bummer. It's because they kept trying to jam all that mortar in the back of the tub, and they just could never get it level. You're never going to get it to where you want it to go. And that just was a bummer, dude. So he had the manufacturer come out twice. And after that, they said, sorry, we're not warrantying this. Like, it was a bad install. We can't get it to fix. Usually our patch guy is awesome and he can't patch it. So sorry, bad install, not our responsibility. And that's what's up. What up, Jared? What up, Steve? How you guys doing, man? Oh, it's good. It's good to see you guys in here. I mean, thank you guys for showing up. And, we're just kind of talking about this house that I've been working at, one of my friend's places, just shady, crazy stuff. And so then you've seen the high loop video. All right. Well, first off, they should have put in an air gap, because that's code. And when you're spending all that money and you're pulling all these permits and you're doing all this stuff, how the inspector didn't catch any of that blows my mind too. Right? Like, that just says something of a whole nother level of quality that I don't want to get into. But man, like, that little attention to detail. And then you've seen the piece that they went to hook up the dishwasher, right? Like, if that's what you're making to do that, come on, guys. I mean, I'll show you. I've got another video coming out. I've told them, I said, at some point I'll come over just for video's sake, and I'll just do it because I want to change this out and just show everybody that you don't have to make this big, long, wonky 8-inch piece of pipe to freaking connect to a dishwasher. You just don't have to, right? Yeah, man, it's every little thing. Every time I turned around there, it was just something, man. And my heart breaks for him, right? That's another one of those things, is I just tell him all the time, like, dude, I feel so bad for you. Like, it just was an interesting time, because he asked me if I wanted to do all the plumbing. Like, obviously I can't be responsible for all the remodel stuff, right? But at least if I would have done it, I would have known the plumbing was right. But I was just closing down my business. I was just taking a new job, and we just had our baby girl. And I'm like, sorry, dude, like, it ain't happening, right? And just a bummer. And then they didn't want to pay him at the end. Like, actually, it's not that it's not that he didn't want to pay them at the end. He paid them. And when he went back through the invoices, he realized that he overpaid them, and they wouldn't give him his money back. And they walked off the job and they quit without finishing the rest of the stuff, which that blows my mind too. Like, how he gave him that much money without everything being done, that's another, scenario. It just goes to show, man, like you just don't know what people do sometimes, dude. And I don't know. I don't know how you get around it because they seem like a pretty reputable company. They went through his designer and like all this stuff. And that was the other thing. I'm like, dude, you didn't have to hire a designer. Like you could have picked out what you wanted. You didn't have to have all this crazy fancy stuff because he's not a fancy guy. And we've talked about it several times. I'm like, dude, he's like, I don't even like half these things. So like, that, that's part of the craziness, dude. Um, Sandy says, my sister had a shady contractor put up a wooden 6 foot privacy fence. Yeah, dude. So, right, like, well, you're not even going to put the posts in concrete. Like, I mean, something, man, like, yeah, 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 a bunch of crooks, dude. Always, I, you totally got to watch those plumbers and contractors, dude. I mean, around here, it it's blown my mind. Like when I had my business, that was majority of what I, not the majority of what I did, the majority of like, so for a long time, I had a contract with Home Depot where I did a lot of their fixture installs. And that was awesome, man. That was the best part-time job I think I ever had. Like once I took over that contract for myself and I had like 3 stores and I would rock it. Like it was awesome. But all the work outside of that, majority of that was fixing stuff. And actually, Home Depot corporate at one point had reached out to me and was like, "Hey, dude, we want you to. Can you go take a look at some things?" And so I started looking at things that other people had screwed up for them, and I'm like, "Oh boy, man." And that was the other reason why a little while back, like, because I had used Home Depot so much and I'd worked with them so much. And so, like, whenever I had seen that veteran parking thing, I just obviously I was a little bit freaking. I was a little butthurt. I mean, for no reason. I mean, not that I use it all the time, but man, I see all kinds of old dudes using it all the time. My stepdad uses it all the time, and it's good, dude. Some people are like I've got a lot of flack over that for a little bit. Once in a while, some video or somebody will comment on that video and be like, "You're such a freaking whiner. Like you're complaining about this." I'm like, "No, man. If I'm complaining about it for myself, well, then yeah, you can call me a whiner, baby, whatever, dude. But you know what? I look at it this way: when you have a lot of those old timer veteran dudes, like from back in Vietnam and stuff, these peeps didn't get any respect when they came home, right? There was a lot of crazy freaking. There's a time in people's lives they remember where freaking veterans had a little harder than they do now, right? And like that's just one little thing that maybe makes somebody feel a little bit better. So that's it, dude. I'm not going to freaking harp on that, but that's just just something. So anyway, worked for Home Depot. It like really did a lot of cool stuff. Made a lot of fixes on a lot of crazy crap. Is how that boils. Drugs are bad. Yeah. I think drugs might have something to do with some of those things too, man. And that's the other part of that's the reason why it came to the point where when I sold my business, it was either I needed to expand because I was doing too much work, I was working way too much, or I needed to shut it down. And that's why I shut down. Like people were like, why would you shut down a very lucrative business? Or why wouldn't you just continue to do that? Well, I can tell you, like the paperwork, all that stuff, it's a lot of work, man. To maintain and run a successful level, even as a one-man shop, was a hard thing, right? I was always thinking about work, always. And so I said, forget it. Shut it down. It's hard to find quality people. I mean, I've got quality friends that they have their own stuff going on, right? Or they work for other companies. And that's if I wasn't trying to hire my friends either. I was just not like it's so that was one of those things. And I subcontracted a couple of my friends out a couple of times to do some stuff, and that worked out really well. But to have the level of customer service that I expect, like from myself when I go to somebody's home, to get that from other people, like I just couldn't see it, man. I've just seen too many bad things go awry, and yeah, I and then there's that level of it, there's that side of it, and then there's the other side where sometimes customers try to take advantage, right? And I'll tell you the straw that broke the camel's back for me was a guy that I went to his house to change out a toilet. Um, Crappy job. I mean, like all around right away, like it just was a bad, like the way that they had done it. It was in a condo on a slab. The flange was so low in the floor that I had to use a couple wax rings. All that stuff worked. So what had happened though was the guy's dishwasher on the other side of the toilet, on the other side of the wall, had flooded out, ruined his kitchen. It actually came through that wall, and it ruined the bathroom floor as well. Right? It's all linoleum. It just made it all wonky and whatever. It came through there. It trashed it. So we had a restoration company come. And if any of you ever have had to have a restoration company come, you know the amount of money that comes with that crazy bill. All right. And so they're guys, not plumbers, whatever. They just pull everything, demo it. They take a picture, and the guy tells the homeowner that there's no way that dishwasher, even with all the water coming through the wall, did all this damage. That toilet was installed improperly as well. Just started laughing. I'm like, what? Like, how can you even say that, dude? Like, I know the way water travels, like, and I know that water came through that wall. There's no way it didn't. Right. And so it just was so funny. He shows me the pictures, and you could actually see in the pictures where the water actually went around where my caulk job and stuff was, and just went around and trashed the floor. And I'm like, dude, are we looking at the same pictures here? And I called the guy, the restoration guy, and of course he just lit into me right away, like, you're such a hack and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I said, are you even licensed to pull a toilet in the state of Washington? I said, because I don't think so. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a plumbing job, and only plumbers are allowed to do that in this state. And, and so I never heard from him again. But that guy, that homeowner, actually tried to get me to pay for a portion of his remodel. Like, I'm done, dude. Like, no, that's just a joke. It was just a bad joke, dude. Yeah, you know, I'm all for, like, so Steve, like, I'll read a couple of these comments. Like, I'm all for veterans having perks, dude. Like, it's good, and I'm not gonna. I like getting 10% off at Lowe's, right? But you know what? That whole thing, I asked a question. I was asking a question, and it meant to bring up some things. Like, hey, man, all I wanted to do was ask a question. Was why did that happen, right? And the manager was so cool about it all, right? And he said, hey, dude, he's like, I got my veteran dude right on it. One of my top employees, freaking. He went out there, he built freaking whole new freaking veteran signs and hooked all this stuff up. And you know, it was awesome, and it's good. It was a great response. He's like, look, and he's like, and you weren't the only person to ask. I was like, well, I just wanted to know. It's weird, man. Especially when you got freaking like 30 more stalls of like curbside parking. Like, why would you just take those ones? They only took those ones. So like, it just was weird. That's all. And Hoosiers Helpers, you're right, man. Licensed, bonded, insured. And you know what? That doesn't always, man, I hate to say it, just doesn't always mean that it's gonna be grand, unfortunately. And Plague Badger said, my mother had a shady contractor working in her house. Oh yeah, 3,000 the hole. Chased him off. My neighbor is CB. Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's cool that your neighbor is a CB. I actually trained with the CBs, like Josh said, right? Because the Air Force, he was an electrician, I was a plumber, and the at our schoolhouses, you know, actually got taught by a CB plumbing at the schoolhouse, and yeah, they're there. They're awesome, man. Like, I've worked with the CBs whenever I was in Afghanistan as well. Like, just super cool. They're just top notch. I actually work with the old CB right now. She's awesome. Actually, two. thinking about it, our director at work too. She's a pretty high up CB, like ex CB. It's pretty awesome. Oh, hey, see you later, Britt. Thank you very much for joining. Um, I've done a child job and hired someone for a tile job. Unfortunately, it was the same remodel. Let's say the guy is a pro and didn't judge my instruction too harshly. Yeah, dude. Well, I, and I don't mind. Like, by all means, like you guys will see me hire contractors, dude, because I will. Like, if I don't have time for something or I want something done to a professional standard, I'm gonna hire somebody, dude. I'm going to. I'm gonna try to do everything I can myself, but I totally, for the most part, will hire um, something big out, right? Like I have a couple friends who are electricians. I have them come over. I had a bunch of can lights put in my house at one point. My wife's like, "Hey, I want to get this hooked up." We're calling somebody else. I'm not trying to do all this. Um, oh, Jared's your grandfather was a CB in the SF troop, Vietnam, dude. On Fob 1 and Fob 4 in Vietnam. Look up those MACV SOG, the SOG. What are those? MaxSOG bases? I'll have to check them out. No, that's, yeah, man. Some of the things that peeps do out in the field, dude, like when it comes to building stuff, right? Because I had worked out on some fobs out in Afghanistan, like in just middle of nowhere, little small places, right? And man, like it's awesome, like some ingenuity, dude. The guys out at this one place needed a septic tank. They didn't have one. And I mean, don't get me wrong, they made a very interesting one, right? Where they took a little small 10 by, I think it's just a 10 by 10 little Connex container. So it's, one of those little hard ones that you, not the super big, long 20 by 10s or whatever those things are, but just I think there's a 10 by 10, and they actually put a great charge inside and blew a bunch of holes out and then put it down in the ground. And that's kind of the way they had their sewer system set up. So it's pretty cool. Oh, the Studies and Observation Group. Okay, cool, dude. I'll check that out. It's always fascinating to check out old stuff too, old war stuff, man. So many peeps, dude, did so many good things for all of us to freaking be able to sit here and me talk to you on YouTube. So I've got a couple more things to button up at that dude's house. And whenever I'm done, I think I might do a walk around and just kind of show you like all the crazy things, man. Because I tell you, in that shower, and I just had to break him this news the other day, is, he's like, "Hey, man, I just want you to take a look at the shower." Like, I had a gutter guy look at it, and just because I thought it was a little bit funky, and I wanted to see what your thoughts were. And right outside the shower, where the trim is for the door, the dude actually took his thumb and he put it straight through with no resistance at all, just completely right through the trim. And I'm like, what? So I looked at it and I'm like, dude, I hate to tell you, man, that freaking shower pan's coming out too. All right. So on a remodel that's not even a year old, so far what we're looking at is a complete redo of the tub, a complete redo of the freaking shower. Not to mention that the pony wall of the shower is probably going to have to come out. The door is going to have to come out. A lot of the trim. Too much stuff. It's just, I don't know. That's why I'm over there helping him out, right? It's just like, hey, dude, I'll come look at stuff. What I can fix for you is, just as little things. I'm not trying to get into huge, big projects. I said I can just lend my hands for small little stuff, and hopefully we can find you a good quality contractor to come and actually fix some of these things when you're ready. Because I can tell you, when you spend that kind of money, you don't expect to spend any kind of money again anytime soon, right? Like, at least that's my thought. Oh, dude, I'm sure, man. A lot of those Vietnam stories, do anything, man, will freaking, yeah, just wild stuff, man. I watched a oh, I don't know, I don't remember what it was called, but it was some kind of a it was an Afghanistan story on Netflix not so long ago, dude. And I can tell you, like that, it's just like wow, wow, man. Like they built a base like down inside this little canyon, and the only way in was from the mountaintop, so you had to go up to get out, and too wild. Sandy said one time we had to wait 3 weeks for a refrigerator repair under warranty. The guy said they couldn't find the people to do the maintenance type work. What? Yeah, I had a friend, the guy that I did the flange job for, right? So my friend that I did the flange for, that dude, man, he actually, after watching me snake his toilet one time, he actually went to Home Depot, rented a snake, pulled his toilet off, snaked his own clog, got it done, but he broke the flange in the process. And I said, that's probably you. He probably could have done it, but it was a little bit complicated. So I said, I'll come over, I'll hook it up. And I did it. I said, just, for the price of a video, like, let me shoot the video and it'd be totally good. And so hooked it up. That, that guy wanted me to run some gas. Well, that was during the back issue time. And I'm like, nah, bro, I wasn't trying to get into it anyway. I'm just, it's big things don't interest me. Right. I can't, as much as I'd love to help out with it. I wasn't trying to get in a crawl space. I wasn't trying to get in the attic. None of that bad biz, dude. And so the dude got like 4 quotes, whatever it was. Like one was like 6,500, one was like $4,000, and another one was like $1,500. All right. Which all those seem a little bit crazy to me, especially to run flexible gas pipe, which they run these days. It's super easy. It doesn't take very long. I don't know. I guess you figure it was like $300 or $400 an hour because it's not very long, which that's crazy. But I called a guy that I knew that had a good, that could have potentially gave a good deal. This was back in December. That dude was booked solid through March. All right. He's like, I don't have time for anything, dude. So, I mean, I can see where like it's hard to get people and to get people booked out. Like the one thing I've always learned is that if you're good, you're busy, right? They just keep you busy. If they find that you're reliable, you're going to be busy. And yeah, I mean, I still have people call all the time that I just have to refer a workout to. Like I have to refer them to somebody else, or I just have to say no because if I don't really know you, I've just worked at your house. I'm not going to come work for you. There's some older. I still have some older clients that when they call, I go, right? Because I know like like I said, there's a trust factor, right? Some people don't like people being in their homes. And when you're an elderly person, I don't want somebody to get taken advantage of. I just don't like it. I won't sleep good if I did that. So I just go take care of it for them. Right. I don't. I worked for one of those companies at one point a long time ago that charged insane amounts of money, right? That they always cared about that top dollar and they wanted you to have it all the time. And I can tell you that I did not sleep very good at all. And eventually it just ate at my soul, and it just ate and ate and ate. And I just left. And I said, sorry guys, I can't do it anymore. This is just not who I am. Yeah, dude. It's kind of, you're right. It's totally a kind of disposition. So I don't know. With all that, that's mainly the big thing I wanted to, just talk about tonight is that, man, I mean, if you can find somebody else, if you have a friend or a relative or somebody that was happy with the work that was done, right? Like that's maybe your bread and butter, that personal referral. I know coming from one of my friends, that gives me like that good word of like, hey, this is quality, dude. You're guaranteed you're gonna enjoy this. Well, then that's what I'm gonna go with most of the time, right? Or if I've seen the work firsthand and I like it, like, hey, okay, yeah, like You do good work. I trust that. I want to see it. Plague Badger said, I've done quite a bit of remods, and one crazy one that comes to mind is the back porch has been converted to a bedroom. One wall did extend. It did not extend to the roof. It was 4.5. That's short. Oh, dude. Oh, 17 plus junction boxes for 4 plugs and a light. Oh, gosh. Oh, dude. I wish that I could find a picture of, I don't even know what all these junction boxes went to, but we totally had a wall like that. Like where our kitchen is now, that wall, I don't even know. One, I don't know what they did before we did that, but then I don't know what our electrician that we had do our work. I don't know what he did either, because at one point I had to go and run a new wire for a light because I could not. Me and another one of my electrician buddies could not figure out where he tied off from. Like, not a clue, man. I mean, there's stuff right next to it, and you're going, no, that's not it. That's not it. Like, I do not know. We could not find it to make things right, and so we just eventually said, done, dude. Let's just start over. And nothing more than I love than crawling in the attic friggin' whenever it's 80 some degrees in the middle of summer, right? Yeah. Wow, dude. 17 plus junction boxes. Oh, that guy was good, dude. Well, I've got some more good stuff coming up, man. I'm just an oil field greaser. The dirtier, the better. Nice. I don't have the patience, the skill or the patience to do remodeling or carpentry. Oh, dude. Carpentry is definitely a little foreign language to me, too. I loved wood shop in school. I did. I absolutely loved it. I wish I would have done a little bit more with it, like afterwards and stuff. But I mean, I still dabble. And at some point, I plan on it. My problem is I need a shop. All right. I have this thing with my wife all the time. I would be doing so many more cool things if I actually had a garage. Like, I have a garage that is 3/4 of a garage because they cut off a portion of my garage to make the laundry room / bathroom. And I tell you, there are so many shark bite fittings underneath that bathroom. That cost them like an extra $500+ just in plumbing parts because they use shark bite for everything. At some point, I might crawl under there and show you too. There's so many things that are just wonky with this house too, man. But that's one of my biggest things. I'm like, man, I really love a shop. I love a work area to just be able to spread out a little bit more and have more things to just to be able to do projects that I want to do. You know, I've got these other little test things that I want to do, and I just need garage space to do them, man. Like, I've been trying to test out penetrating oils forever, man. And I mean, I probably should just do it, but my garage is a disaster. And it's just hard. I've said I've got 2 priorities this year. Is what one thing is my taxes and my garage. But once, and then of course YouTube, right? I've said, man, I'm putting out 3 videos a week, no matter what. That's my goal. That's really what I've wanted to do this year. And it's just helping. It's helping people. I see it every day. The comments are awesome. You know, the feedback, it's growing, and I want it to continue to grow that way. I enjoy it. And my wife doesn't mind me doing it, and she thinks it's a good creative outlet for me. And it's been fun, right? You guys all make it fun, dude. It's only 15 of us in here, and it's just me rambling. But I love reading people's comments, and you guys are always very insightful, and it's just joyful to be able to like meet with some like-minded people. I honestly felt that if all of us were all sitting in a room, that we would all sit down and chat and have a good time, right? And that's what this feels like to me. That's because my wife's asked me that too. She's like, how do you just sit there and like talk to the people? I'm like, well, I see in some way I see people in my mind sitting in this room talking with me, right? I helped my brother, a local building contractor, do a roof a few years back. Uh, he hasn't asked since. Well, you could have did something right there, right? Because roofing's not my thing either. So you just do it wrong once and they never want you back. That I love. Our house got flooded. John learned real quick, electricity, carpentry. Yeah, dude. I love that your husband's a crane operator too, Sandy. I think it's cool, man. That's it. It seems like such a cool job. Really, I've always been fascinated by it. I don't necessarily want to work crazy up high, but man, I've always been fascinated with how they move stuff around like that. What do you think of PEX tubing? It's been used for some time now. So, Plague of Badgers, I love it. I am not. I'm not a big fan of type. I think type A. Type A is the crimp type, right? So it's the type that you have to have the little clamp, the cramps or something, the clamps or the little pincher pieces for. It's not my favorite, right? I actually was just talking with Stony Ridge Farmer about this not so long ago because his dad's house, all those little brass pieces and the brass fittings inside, all those they were eroding, right? All of the minerals in his water were actually eating out that brass, which blew my mind. I'm like, dude, I've never seen that. He's like, dude, seriously, they had to go in and replace every single elbow in the whole system. The PEX was still fine, but every fitting was bad. And I'm like, that's crazy. So I don't know why I'm getting this confused right now. Like type A, type B, right? There's two types of PEX. Hold on one second. Sorry. I have to look this up because it's going to drive me crazy. Type B PEX. I feel like I was saying it right. What? Okay, so I just typed in type B Pez. and like literally it's showing me Pez dispensers. What the heck? Okay, so I had it wrong. Type B, that's the kind you buy at Home Depot. That's the kind that comes with the little crimps. The type A is the expandable. Okay, so that's what I like. I like the expandable stuff. At some point, I'm going to show you a couple cool things with the expandable. I just really haven't been doing any kind of stuff with that. And so it's just my stuff's out in the garage. I like the expandable type because the actual fitting itself or the crimp ring is actually an expandable ring. So you put that ring on, once you put it in place, like once you expand it and put it in place, within 10 seconds, you're not taking that off, right? Without actually cutting it off, you're never taking it off again. I think that anything that's used in like extreme weather conditions, to me, is it's quality. It's proven, man. We use that stuff in Antarctica, and they've started using it more and more, like out in remote field camps and stuff. Like, so where, I mean, it gets cold, dude, and it works. And a lot of times with that expandable type, even if it does get a freeze in it, it's going to expand out. And then whenever it thaws, it'll contract back. It's pretty rare that you're going to blow the pipe out. You're actually going to probably lose the fitting before you ever blow the pipe out. Like the pipe's good, man. At least you at least you're talking. I love it. Playing Badges like, at least you're talking, man. My wife thinks I'm crazy sitting here listening. Oh, cool. Sandy's on a barge in North Carolina. That stuff's cool too, man. I work right next to a river, and I see guys doing crane work on barges and stuff all the time. And right now, actually, some dudes are putting in some pylons, I guess, so people can tie fish nets across the river. And so it's pretty cool to watch too, man. I always enjoy checking any of those bigger type things out. Hey, what's up, Case? How you doing? Cases, I really like your lives. Thank you. And thanks for wanting to know how to fix stuff, man. I just want to help people, and that's it. This is the way. So that is one of the big reasons why I started this channel as well, right? Is because whenever I shut my business down, I used to help people all the time. Like, there's something to be said for all you people out there that pray and you know that the power of prayer works. There's something to be said about that, right? I would always pray before I would go out to work. And I would just ask the Lord to help me find somebody that needed my help. And I can tell you so many times, man, that he just has put me right in somebody's, and they would just tell you, like, you were seriously an answer to my prayer. Like, I don't like people coming to my house. I don't like this and that. And you were honestly just an awesome experience, right? Or just something like that. There's a lot of those type of scenarios. And so I just loved it. I've had some of the most amazing conversations with people. There's times where, heck, man, I remember I thought about this just not so long ago the other day too, which I thought was completely funny and very random because I've been singing my son a lot of like late 90s country songs, right? Like the Toby Keith and the Tim McGraw type stuff. I used to listen to it all the time on the way to school, like back in those days. And my one of my favorite jobs that I ever went to was I soldered in a shower valve for this guy. And after I had gave him the bill and we just sat there talking, the next thing you know, seriously, it's 2 hours later and we had went through all these songs, singing Sammy Kershaw and Tim McGraw and Keith Whitley, and like just all these songs, man. And I'm going, man, I didn't even know that I knew half of this stuff, right? You start singing Bubba Shot the Jukebox with a guy that you just met a couple hours ago. It's pretty good. All right. Like, I loved it. It was seriously, and I thought about that the other day and I'm like, man, I sure wonder what that dude was doing. Like, I think he was in kind of a bad place at that time, but that time that we spent together, like, I really know he enjoyed it and I enjoyed it as well. And it just was fun. And I remember coming home and telling my roommate, he probably thought I was a little bit crazy. He's like, dude, you should have been home a long time ago. I'm like, yeah, but I had a good time, man. Like, that was it. It was fun. Right. And that's the kind of stuff that I miss. Like, so that's one of the big reasons why I do this now. Let's see who else we got here. Oh, what up? What up, Katie Hill Farmer? That dude does live streams as well, dude. He's awesome. He's good. He's somebody new that I had just got turned on to from his comments on the Stony Ridge as well. It's good, man. Guys are all you homesteaders, dude. You're up to good stuff, dude. I love it. I never knew I loved it. All right. That's the interesting thing. Like, Josh is awesome, man. He has turned me on to so many cool things. And he's like, someday I'm going to get you on some land, get you working it, dude. Got to go. Later, Jared. Thank you, dude. Thank you. Yeah, dude. Whew. Yeah, dude. He's just been super knowledgeable, always hooking it up. And I really have been stoked. Well, you guys got any questions? Like, I love questions. I'm actually going to have a call with the Hoosier Helper after this. We're going to talk about, he sent me a video and he's like, hey dude, like, what do you think about this? I'm going to send you a video of my problems. And then I want you to video, like, and explain to me how to fix my stuff. And then I'll offer your video and explaining how to fix it. I'm going to fix it. So I was like, all right, let's try it. Let's see how well it works. What do you guys think of that? Oh yeah, dude, prop me up beside the jukebox if I die. Oh yeah, dude. The other bad thing about that whole scenario is I don't really sing that good at all. At all. You just ask my son. If little Logan Fix It was here right now and he walked in, I said, what do you think about dad singing? He would probably act like he's throwing up in his mouth. Right? He does like Please Don't Take the Girl, though. That's been one of my latest ones that I've been singing to him at bedtime. And yeah, he's great. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Hoosier Helpers. I know you think it's a good idea. It's your idea, dude. It's a great idea. Dude, Yeah, you were just joining this conversation, Katie Farmer. So I was that man, and I've been that, and I had a business for probably 4 or 5 years. I liked it, man, and it just got to the point where it was either I expand or I shut down, and we were just having our second kid. I was wanting some benefits, and honestly, I was burnt out. Like between people trying to tell me I was ripping them off and other things, and I don't really want to be the boss of plumbers either. To be honest, I really didn't want to be the boss of plumbers, but that's it's what it is. And so now I work for I work for Boeing, and I do facility maintenance for them, and I have good benefits. I have a very flexible schedule. Like I'm home by 2 o'clock every day, right? I'm off at 2. I'm home by 2:30. Sorry, I'm home by 2:30 every single day, right? And I like that. I'm an early riser. I go to work early. I'm off early, and I love it. It gives me time to do this, and especially it gives me time to hang out with my family, right? Like I want to be able to sit down and have family dinner every night. I want to be able to freaking kiss my kids goodnight. That's what's important to me. I started YouTube because I love helping people. And then I also started it because I want my wife to stay at home. Like, I think that her being home with the kids and just teaching them like the values that we love and we cherish, I think that it's just important. Like, that's one of the most important things to me. And so that's it, dude. And I would love to be out there being a contractor, honestly, helping as many people as I could, because, dude, I know how many people are just getting taken advantage of right now. But that being said, it's so much work, man. I think it's more work than YouTube, because I just never shut off, right? You've always got another project going, and you've always got these other 50 million things you got to think of. And yeah, it's too much. What else we got? How's the temp repair on the yard? So I'm going to tell you, the temp repair on the yard, my wife was just telling me about it. She's like, your ditch is full right now, because it's been raining for like 3 days straight. That ditch is full, but there is no water next to my house right now, which I'm fine with. The other side, I think I'm going to put a 50-gallon bucket over there, or a 50-gallon drum. I'm trying to look for a plastic one or something. My wife, actually, she's finally maybe accepting the idea. So I'm like, okay, I'm still going to dig a trench for right now, because my overall, come springtime, I really do want to put French drain, or I want to put, some kind of drainage that runs to the house or runs to the front of the house. Just get it all the way from around the house. I don't want anything to be near the house. The rain, man, the rain is just so crazy here. And our yard obviously it's sloped right towards our house, right? Like, unfortunately, that's what it is. And without having to like really get in there and mow everything down and take it down with a grader and all that stuff, man, it's a fun project that I would love to get into. I just don't know if that's the route I'm going to take. So I think if I just dig it all out, put some trenches in there, get a, get some French drain going, get some good drainage, it'd be rocking, dude. But it's working well, dude. I'm actually pretty stoked about it. It's a gamble for sure. My wife's dad does it. And man, it's awesome, man. If you're good, you're always going to have work, dude. Oh, and yeah, man, I talk about that a lot, dude. Freaking YouTube takes time. Okay, so I just heard the car door shut, and hopefully I'm about ready to get off here, but hopefully I can get little Logan fixed in here real quick to do his his sledgehammer review for us. I'm excited to see what he says. Dude's awesome. What's up, bro? How you doing? You want to come say hi? Do you have the sledgehammer? Do you want to do a sledgehammer review for everybody? You gonna go get it?
I remember.
Well, so Case asks, is there any news on the FaceTime plumber call idea? So, I've still been thinking a little bit more about it. We've kind of maybe talked about doing some Zoom stuff, right? So maybe doing Zoom calls. Dinner's here?
Yeah.
So a Zoom call apparently can be recorded, like the whole thing. You could record the whole meeting and we could show both sides. So for some of you that don't know, I would really love to help people that way. And I help people all the time over FaceTime. So I know I can do it. It's just a weird way to get monetized. Like I don't exactly know how to do that in some ways. But we're going to work on it. I did a little FaceTime plumbing a little while back with somebody and they hooked me up with sausage. I love it. It's awesome. One of my favorite things ever. And by all means, like really, if you guys have anything plumbing wise, you just want to ask a question, hit me up on Facebook, dude. I'll video chat with you. I'll try to help you out with your issue. And yeah, it's free. Like really, you don't owe me anything. I really just like helping people. Let's see. Phil Moran. Is that it? Hopefully I'm saying that right. Man, I just found your channel. Started the bass wrench video. Awesome, dude. Awesome. Hey, I'm glad that helped, dude. Really. I'm glad anything helps. My mom's awesome, man. My mom she's trying all kinds of things, dude. She's always getting something hooked up. Sandy, awesome. Thank you. I think it's a great idea too. I think it's fun, right? I think that if you have somebody good and you're able to explain something, you're able to help somebody out, it rolls. I mean, you've heard me talk about it before too, right? My cousin Lisa, dude, she didn't even have the tools. I sent her to the store. She got all the tools, got all the repair parts, and I walked her through actually changing out a valve underneath her sink. So she changed out the valve, hooked everything back up. She had to cap off some stuff. She rocked it right out, man, like a boss. Okay, so I have this sledgehammer that Logan Fixit just hooked me up with. Hey, come here, dude. You wanna hook this up? You wanna talk a little bit about this thing? So this is a sledgehammer that we bought. Logan loved to go. We call hardware stores like Lowe's, Home Depot, we call them the big hammer store. So we call Harbor Freight the little hammer store, and our Ace, we call it little hammer store. So we went to little hammer store. When did you get this? When did we get this? Like maybe, how old were you? 2? Maybe 3? But we went to pick out something Logan size, and this is what he wanted. And so we've, I can't say no when the kid wants a tool. Like it just is not in my mind, I don't think. So I'm like, oh man, I did have to nix the idea the other day of springs. Try to get me to buy like $30 worth of springs for him when we were at the hardware store. Like, no, dude. He's like, but Dad, I need them. I need them all. I was like, no, dude, I'm sorry. Yeah, come here, bud. Come here. Oh yeah, come here. Yeah, come here. Come here. I want you to talk about this. Can you tell everybody what this is? Well, come here. You got to come over here. Just look up. You don't even have to. Yeah, just. Oh, what? You don't want to talk? Okay, it's fine. Just say hi. You know who's in there? Who's over here? Grandma. Grandma's in there. Okay. Well. Oh. Huser Helper says, I'm blessed with 2 girls. Oh, dude. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally true. I believe that's a hard sell. I can't wait until my daughter. So it's one of those things, right? We just wanted our kids to be old enough to decide if they want to be on here, right? Like, and Logan, obviously, he decides. You see how he comes and goes and does what he wants. But Mabel, she's not old enough yet. Once she gets a little bit older and she can talk, and we'll see what she wants to do, right? But until then, I don't want to show her off or any of that stuff. This would be her decision. Hey, Logan, Casey was saying hi. So one other thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, which I think it's pretty awesome, is last year, right? Because there's a lot of talk. So I'll give you a little backstory here. So there's always a lot of talk, right, about how nobody's getting in the trades and everybody's like steered away from that. We're going to need all the help we can get, you know, and all these things phasing out and phasing out. Well, I have a friend that she's a high school teacher, and last year she had one of her students call me and interview me. She's like, hey, and she asked me, and I said, yeah, sure, absolutely. Like, the he's a freshman in high school and he's thinking about becoming a plumber. I said, oh, that's awesome, man. Like, that's totally cool. I'll absolutely chat with him. So I chatted with him, I had a great conversation with him. Well, a couple weeks ago, I was driving around and I was thinking, like, driving home from work, and I'm thinking, you know what? You know what would be awesome is I'm going to call. I want to check up on that dude and see how he's doing. So I called our friend and I just was saying, hey, what's up with this dude? And I was like, you know, did he ever become a plumber? Well, that's when I found out that he was a freshman. So I'm like, well, he's not a plumber yet, obviously. But the dude he's on track and hooking it up. And I said, well, you know, I'd like to buy him some tools. I said, as part of like that fix it guy. So I'm going to like do some kind of like that fix it guy, like tool type scholarship, right? For peeps that are getting in the trade, just to help them out a little bit. You know, little things that I think that I would want for starting out, right? Make sure you got good, just a couple, not a ton of tools, but a few good tools. And she said, well, he's not there. She said, but I have a kid that's doing an internship that's been doing some stuff for a plumbing company now for a couple of years, and he's a senior this year. So hopefully we can get that figured out to where I can hook this up and maybe I can shoot a video on it and share it in the channel. But I just thought that was a pretty cool thing. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And I think it's awesome, man. I love that I'm hearing, and maybe it's not a lot, right? But I love hearing that there's kids out there that are getting interested in trades, that are still in high school and interested in trades, right? Like, I never thought about these things when I was in high school. I never thought what I was going to do. But I do wish that I would have, you know, I went to school in a rural, I went to school all over, but when I was in rural areas, they always had VOTech, right? And so kids were going out and being plumbers and learning how to build houses. And, you know, I have a friend that dude, man, he was building houses. Well, on the weekends, whenever we were all out partying, that dude was out building houses. All right. So he was making crazy money already. And I'm like, man, like, what did I do? But you know, it's good. It's just what it was. And I just look at it now and I'm like, it's awesome, dude. And so I'm really excited to try to do that and figure it out. And who knows, maybe at some point we can find some kind of tool sponsor that would help us out and just be able to do it for more kids. And, you know, maybe it helps them stay interested. I don't know. I think it'd be cool. Yeah, thanks, Sandy. I think so too. I think it's gonna be pretty cool. I think you know, it'd be cool. Maybe we can get them in here and we can ask some questions too, you know, just see how they're thinking, you know, what they want to do, whether they want to go new construction, whether they want to go residential. You know, maybe they don't know where they're gonna go now. You know, I don't know how I got into service plumbing, but man, like anymore, I don't think that I would want to be. I love the maintenance side of the house, right? I'm always trying to have to figure out something, and there's always puzzles going on, right? Sometimes you're playing multiple games at once, but it's fun. All right, so I have rambled way too long at this point. Thank you guys for sticking with me. All right, I really appreciate it. I appreciate all the support. We just passed 4,000 subscribers. That's crazy.
Dad, dinner. We're eating dinner right now.
We're eating dinner right now? Okay. And so that means I need to go. All right. I thank you guys very much. If you know somebody that could use our help, please, you know, share by all means. Like, I'm not pressuring anybody to do anything, dude. But if you know somebody that can use help, let them know. If they run into a situation, throw them out on Facebook. Tell them to shoot me a message. I'm happy to respond, right? I do it all the time. Hoosiers Helper, I will call you as soon as I get done eating. All right. Thank you guys very much, and we'll see you again real soon. And
hint.